Now the next day, the video plan I had for today completely failed. Not a single order in Spokane, which is all right. So we are changing plans today. Right now, we are heading over to the shop to work on the other Hawkeye. I think it is about time to get that car back on the road. Plus, I would love both of my Hawkeyes, the giveaway Hawkeye, the current one I'm in right now, and the other Hawkeye to be running next to each other before this goes to the new owner. But this other Hawkeye has a lot of issues, and we're going to dive into that today. Some of it's concerning, some of it not so much. But I'm gonna bring you guys along, see what we can do with this car. But first, we need to make a pit stop at Harbor Freight. All right, well, we are now at the shop, and today we are starting on the other 07. Now, this car has been sitting pretty much like this for several months now. I bought this car back in January. It sat for a little bit at my home shop, and then I took out the motor, stripped it down, and the car has sat like this ever since. I have all of the parts to make this car run. I have the new heads, all of the parts inside of the car, but today we are not assembling the motor. Now this car, body-wise, is very, very, very clean, but this was a Canada car. And if any of you guys are familiar with cars from Canada, they like to rust. Now it wasn't too bad. The pinch welds have their good amount of surface rust and stuff on them, but everything else looked pretty decent and fixable until I pulled the motor. Obviously, a lot of the stuff is covered up by the motor and all of the accessories, but the first thing I noticed is when I pulled out the battery, you can see all of the surface rust on the battery tray and just absolutely everywhere. The U-frame, the subframe, everything has its fair share of surface rust. So I just went to Harbor Freight to pick up more jack stands since the Honda has been taking up all of mine. So I bought 4 more jack stands. Also, if you guys have a Harbor Freight local to you, until Sunday, these are half off. It was like 50 bucks for a set of jack stands. Not a bad price at all. But we're gonna go ahead and get the Hawkeye moved in the center of the shop, get it jacked up on all 4, and start taking a closer look underneath the car and getting all of the subframe parts removed. So here is where the car is going to sit for some time. We're gonna go ahead and dive straight into this, get this car up in the air, and most likely drop all of the subframe suspension components, drop all of that together to see what needs to get replaced here. Initially, I was going to go ahead and sand everything down and recoat everything, but I think the better and honestly might be cheaper option would be to replace all of these components. Truthfully, I am very, very nervous to get this car in the air. I hope it's not as bad as I think it's going to be, but let's go ahead and dive straight into it. open up the new jack stands, which I'm very excited for. Having new stuff in your shop is so nice, even though it's as simple as jack stands. Go ahead and get these opened up, get the car jacked up, and start taking a dive at it. First things first, before we get the car up in the air to drop the subframe, I need to make sure I put in the pitch mount so the transmission does not droop over. We're gonna go ahead and get this installed right now, and then transmission should hold itself. And there we have it. We got all 4 wheels off. The car is on jack stands. I ended up putting the wheels under the frame rail as well, just because I don't really trust this car right now. So in case anything happens with the jack stands, I have a little bit of clearance left there. Just an extra safety precaution. But now that this car is in the air, we can go ahead and slide under here and take a look at the damage. Right off the bat, in like the wheel well and stuff, you guys can see it is getting, or you guys can't see, but as you guys can see here, this thing is quite crusty. I mean, everything is getting some surface rust. I'm trying to do daily uploads with this car until the giveaway is over on my other Hawkeye, because I would really, really, really like to have this Hawkeye driving next to the giveaway Hawkeye. I think it would be fun, and especially when I fly out the winter, we can make some fun video, them driving their new car and I driving the other Hawkeye. But I think that's the game plan. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing stripped down though and see what I either need to replace, what I can fix, and kind of get a list going. That was horrible. I have never seen so much rust and corrosion in my life. I still taste it in my mouth. I'm very happy I decided to wear some glasses so it wasn't all going to my eye. That was pretty successful though. I did snap off one bolt. It was just rusted like crazy and ended up snapping off. So we'll have to drill that out later on. But yeah, this thing was horrible. All right, there we go. We finally got the driver's side axle out of the car. Now we can loosen all of the bolts, get the top hat bolts disconnected so we can drop this entire subframe together. It is so damn hot. I think it's 106 or 108. I am dying. This is horrible. I have the door open to try to let some air go through, but yeah, this is horrible. That took forever to get the driver's side ready to pull. Only thing left we need to do on this side is go ahead and disconnect the brake line to the Brembo and the wheel speed sensor. And then we can start loosening all the bolts and drop the subframe right out of here. I have a fancy little Harbor Freight jack thing. I've never used this before, so I wonder if it'll come in handy here. And there we go, guys. We got the whole subframe out of the car. I've never pulled it completed together, and I regret doing it that way. If I had a lift with this, a million times easier. I don't know if I got it on video. The car was not high enough in the air. I had to jack up the car in a sketchy point just to pull it out. So in the future, unless I have a lift, I'm going to be taking this apart piece by piece. But doesn't matter, we got it out of the car. And now we can go ahead and start like disassembling all of the components, get the coilovers off, the hubs, the subframe, everything disconnected, and go from there. And there we go, guys. We got the subframe out of the car, completely stripped down. I have all of the pieces laying in the corner here. I have the hubs, coilovers, control arms, etc., etc. A lot of this stuff needs to get replaced. Everything is corroded and rusted like crazy. Here's underneath the subframe. So I'm glad I'm replacing that. That is not something I would want to run. So I'm happy we were able to dive in today and get that stuff disassembled, because now I have an idea of what stuff I need to replace. And I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more stuff underneath the car I'm gonna wanna replace as well. But here we have it. The Hawkeye is getting more and more taken apart. I know this is like a rebuild series and I'm taking it apart even more from what it was, but this car is in pretty rough condition. It is like essentially like a barnyard, abandoned restoration rebuild. So I am very, very excited for the series. This is stuff I've never done before. So it should be a very, very fun series to see how this car is now, to see the transformation in a few weeks here. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I am for this series. It should be a good one. But just another reminder for you guys as well, now that we are starting the Hawkeye rebuild series, the giveaway I'm doing on my other Hawkeye, which is currently outside here, we only have 2 more weeks until that giveaway is over. The website gets shut down and I pick a winner and fly them out here. So if you guys are wanting to win yourself a gorgeous 07 STi, head over to RemmySTi.shop, or it's gonna be linked down in my description. Every $1 you guys spend on that website will get you 1 automatic entry, whether it's a t-shirt like the one I'm wearing, hoodies. I have plenty of other t-shirt designs as well. I have air fresheners, stickers, jet tags. I got all of it. Make sure you guys check out the website. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.